What is up, YouTube? I am Galdite74 here, and we have reached the semifinals of the Ocean League, Matt Oshean's league. And today, guys, the rivalry is going to conclude. We take on Jed Swarley. He is the coach of the Monterrey Suicunes. We beat him in week 12. We beat him in week whatever early in the season, and now we face one more time to see who is truly worthy of making the finals. We are going into this record with an 8-4 record after ending the season with that, while the Monterrey Suicunes are ending with a 7-5 record. So pretty solid, but we're going to try and capitalize and win this game today. Before we get into this video, though, I have joined Jed's league. He's actually a really nice guy overall, and I'm very happy I was in that league. So big shout outs to him. I probably won't be uploading it to YouTube. I might, but probably not. I do have Mega Galaden on the team, though, so that's pretty lit. And if you guys know my past in semifinals or just playoffs in general, I actually really suck. Last week's game was actually like the first game I did really solid in, and that and the one against Aaron in the IBA. But outside of those two games, we just lose. So we're going to try and win and make our first finals appearance in any league. But without further ado, guys, we're going to get into the team builder as we're going to go over his team. His team consists of Megalopony, Tapu Koko, Jirachi, Rotomash, Crocodile, Shaman, Porygon 2, Noivern with Special Z, Comfey, Magmortar, and Weezing. Now, first things first, what I expect him to bring. He's got a lot of options to bring. The only thing I don't see coming is Comfey or probably not Porygon 2, even though he did bring that the first time around. What I expect him to bring consists of Megalopony, Rotomash, Crocodile or Shaman, Magmortar. I do expect the Weezing to come, believe it or not, and if he doesn't bring Cook or Shaman, he'll bring Tapu Koko or Jirachi, I believe. He could bring the Noivern, but I think Magmortar is just overall better for him in the long run. So that is the team I'm expecting him to bring. Basically, Magmortar and Shaman are kind of problems, especially an offensive Shaman, because if you guys saw week 4, I think we took on the Amarillo Azumarill. He had Shaman before, and he did a lot of work with Hidden Power Rock. And Charizard is my main switch in basically the Shaman, so if he's got Hidden Power Rock, I have to be very careful of that. And I don't have many other switch-ins outside of that, because Seed Flare just hits so hard. And another thing that could be a problem, well, Magmortar too, because it just tanks hits from my main offensive Mons, and I don't want to get flame-bodied on Azera Aura. And then lastly, he did bring a weird Curse return set and put P2. It worked for him week 3 or something like that. It didn't work for him because I had a Alolan Persian, but we are actually not bringing Alolan Persian this game, so that could definitely be a problem. So that is his team. My team consists of Serperior, Zeraora, Florges, Mega Charizard Y, Donphan, and Slowbro. I am trying something new out. As you guys just saw, I had the matchup versus matchup instead of just his team, so you can get a little more of a comparison. But now I'm going to take that off because I'm going to go over each of my Mons in detail. As first up, we have Serperior. Serperior is rocking Leaf Storm, Hidden Power Fire, Leech Seed, and Substitute, 248 HP, 108 Special Defense, and 152 Speed with a Tip in Nature. This is our win condition. And it seems weird because he's got a Magmortar, a Weezing, and a Noivern, and even a Jirachi. Sounds kind of weird, right? But my team does really good against Jirachi, so I'm not too worried about it. Magmortar's a problem, but with and Weezing as well, but I can at least subseat them down if they want to switch in. And then I can just at least weaken them that way since they both don't have reliable recovery. So basically the only, and Jirachi too, and I can even set up on the Jirachi as well with Leaf Storms and HP Fire. And you can think Shaman could be a switch in as well, but Shaman can't really touch me back. If he wants to Seed Flare, I could get a +2 Spadef boost, which would be nuts. And that would be awesome. I do have to be a little bit careful of Toxic, and Noivern completely destroys this set. My team does pretty good against Noivern, but I do have to make sure that gets out of the way before Cert can actually do some work against this team. And again, the Crocodile too. Crocodile is kind of a problem offensively against my team, not so much defensively, but like Crocodile hit a lot of my Mons really hard, so at least Serperior can scare that thing out. And that is the Serperior set we are bringing for the semifinal matchup. Next up, we have Zeraora. Another Tier 1 Mon we have is Rock and Moves, Bulk Up, Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Knockoff, Max Attack, 192 Speed with a Jolly Nature, and 64 HP. In our first battle, this was our original win con because he did not have Shaman, and if I could get past the Crocodile, hence why I ran Fight Titanium Z last time. This time, I have to worry about Shaman now because Shaman's a really good switch into Zeraora as well. Luckily, if I am at +1 and I am in the terrain and I use my Z move, it almost OHKOs Shaman, which is just absolutely insane. Zeraora is really strong under the terrain with a +1, so that's kind of the goal. Zeraora is going to nuke something this game. That's basically what Zeraor's job is to do this game, and maybe late game clean as well once some of his mons are gone. I have to be careful of Magmortar's Flame Body. What else do I have to look forward to? A Crocodile, obviously. Shaman. Weezing's pretty fat. But everything else Zeraora actually has a really, really nice matchup against. And that is our Zeraora set. Oh, and it revenges Megalopony too, so that thing doesn't get too out of hand. Next up, we have Florges. This is one of our interesting sets of the week. Florges is rocking Moonblast, Toxic, Synthesis, and Aromatherapy, 248 HP, 220 defense, 40 speed with a Calm Nature with a Shalon Berry. Now, if you guys don't know what a Shalon Berry does, it halves the damage from a normal type attack once. So it's kind of like a Yachi Berry for Garchomp, but for its normal types. And the reason I have this is because my Lopunny switch-in isn't really existent because Donphan, it can switch in, but I need Donphan for a lot of other things in this game. And I could switch in Slowbro, but Slowbro, I'll get to that sooner, is more just takes, like a lot of Pokemon can just come in on Slowbro, and Slowbro is just not going to do much against it. So Florges is the best way I can switch in and still get effective use out of a turn if Megalopony wants to switch out. Obviously, Synthesis for reliable recovery. Moonblast just hits his team really, really hard. Weezing doesn't take much. What else? Jirachi doesn't take much. But the thing is, Jirachi, again, my team handles Jirachi very well. And Weezing doesn't have reliable recovery, so I don't really have to worry about that. And that is Florges. I believe that's it. Yeah, that's it for Florges. Oh, and I can take hits from a special type of Koko that's not a Z move. So that's pretty cool to note there. Next up, we have another offensive mon on the team. We have Mega Charizard Y. Mega Charizard Y has max special attack, 200 speed with a timid nature, 56 HP, with the moves Flamethrower, Solar Beam, Earthquake, and Toxic. This is going to be used to break down his team early, as Mega Charizard Y usually does that really well. Nothing on his team outside of Magmortar and Noivern want to take a Flamethrower, and Rotom Wash as well, but I do have Solar Beam for Rotom Wash. And I know Magmortar is going to be probably the main switch-in because he did that last time, and it's just a really good switch-in in general, probably like an Assault Vest variant. So my goal is to use Flamethrower every time I come in, basically wear down that Magmortar, and when it's low enough, I'm going to surprise it with an Earthquake and knock it out. So that's the goal there. If he brings Noivern, Flamethrower still does like half anyway, so he's either going to be leaving himself weak by attacking, or he's going to force the roost every time I switch out. So not too worried about that. I also have Toxic for Porygon 2, because Porygon 2 can take hits if it's really, really especially defensive, and I just don't want Porygon 2 to run through my team. So that is what Toxic is there for. But mainly, 9 times out of 10, I'm just clicking Flamethrower, making sure that my mortar gets low to a point where I can just Earthquake it. And that is very simple, Mega Charizard Y set. Next up, we have Donphan. Donphan is actually coming to a game, believe it or not. I haven't used this thing much this season, despite the fact that I actually do kind of like Donphan. I'm starting to learn that it's not like the greatest mon in the world, obviously. And I'm definitely seeing its big flaws, but we're going to try it out anyway. This is an AV Donphan with Earthquake, Knockoff, Rapid Spin, and Ice Shard. 104 speed, by the way. This is to outspeed a no speed Porygon 2, so I can knock it off, because Eviolite is pretty important for him. Basically, my team kind of like lacks a Rapid Spinner, and I know Charizard's really important for this game, so if I can get Rapid Spin, it would just get hazards on the field, especially rocks particularly, because that's the main hazards that really kind of hurt my team a lot, and I couldn't really afford to run it on Florges because Aromatherapy was very important, and superior off-floor moves are important there as well, so I decided to do this. I can take hits from Tapu Koko as well because electric hits just don't do anything, except the Z-move, obviously. Tapu Koko's Z-move is the only type of thing that's kind of scaring me right now from Tapu Koko. Everything else is just there because, in my opinion, Tapu Koko is not the strongest Pokemon outside of electric moves, so I'm going to kind of use that to my advantage. I can switch into Jirachi as well, especially a physical Jirachi. I have to be a little bit careful of a special one, but I don't think he'll bring a special one. And since it's AV, I can actually tank 2 hits from Magmortar, so this is one of my few Magmortar switch-ins, believe it or not, so that's kind of scary, but I'll have to deal with it. And with the AV, I can also switch into stuff like Noivern as well, because Noivern's special attack's only like 97 or something like that. As long as I'm not dropping Dracos on me, I'll be pretty fine. And that is basically Donphan. It's mainly here just the Rapid Spin to knock things off, because Lopunny's not going to switch in on Donphan because Donphan takes its hits anyway, and Lopunny's going to need the health late game if he wants to use it effectively. So that is Donphan. And lastly, we have Slowbro. That is my dog in the background shaking a lot. Slowbro is running Scald, Psychic, Calm Mind, and Slack Off. Max Def with Calm Nature, 248 HP, and 8 defense with a Rocky Helmet. This is a really good defensive switch-in for Megalopony, as Megalopony doesn't want to take the extra chip damage from Rocky Helmet. I can slack off every time on it, basically. I do have to be a little bit careful though, because this is screaming Tapu Koko to come out. And again, even though Tapu Koko is not that big of a threat, I really don't want Tapu Koko just getting free switch-ins. I know Psychic and Scald do like 45%-ish, but even then, Tapu Koko's got reliable recovery, and it could be like a setup variant, all I know. So there's that. It deals with the Weezing defensively, because I really don't have a switch-in for Weezing defensively. I do have Donphan, but I can't really touch it back because of Levitate. And that's kind of what Slowbro's here for, and that was kind of it. Nothing else on my team really did any better job defensively than Slowbro from what I already didn't have on the team. So that's why I decided just to throw it on there last second. And well, not last second, but it was the last monster in the team. So that is Slowbro, and that is our team builder for our semifinals match. If you guys are hyped, leave a like. This team builder is very long, but it's okay because it's the semifinals match. We are ending our rivalry with Jet Swirly. Will we win? Will we lose? We're going to go to Pokemon Showdown and find out. Alright guys, we have arrived at Pokemon Showdown for the battle. He did not bring Megalophony again, which I'm shook about, but he did bring the Noivern. So Serperior is not looking as good in this matchup. But since he all has special attackers, Florges is kind of looking good in this matchup. But anyway, I'm going to start with Charizard because I can try and break something early, as he does lead with the Noivern, unfortunately. So I don't really want to take like a Z move to the face, so I am going to switch out into Florges to scout out what this Noivern is going to do. He goes for the Hurricane, and he misses. So turn 1, he misses Hurricane. That kind of sucks for him. He is going to go in the Weezing. I did fully expect Weezing or my Mortar, but I did go for the Moonblast regardless to just scout out the damage to make sure like the stuff I'm expecting is here. As he is basically just a specialty defensive Weezing at this point. He's going to go for Toxic. Unfortunate they did Toxic my Slowbro, but I can just fire off a Psychic as his switch-ins, they exist. Like he's going to switch into Shaman. But it actually does 26%, and you're going to have to remember that number for later because that's actually very important to me, know at least. Here I'm going to switch into Serp. I don't want to make the aggressive play just in case he's got HP Rock yet. And he unfortunately goes for Toxic, predicting that, which is really smart. And that sucks because now Superior's viability went from like 100 to like 5 just because I'm poisoned now. I do have the Aromatherapy, but that I'm forced to use it, which sucks. I go for Leaf Storm here just to scout the Noivern and see if he's got like leftovers or whatever. So I'm fully expecting this thing to be a Z move, as he does not show leftovers or anything. So I'm expecting this thing to fire off the Z at some point. He fires off another Hurricane and misses again. Pretty unfortunate, but it's a 70% accurate move. What can I say? Here, this time he does switch in my Mortar, as I do go for the Aromatherapy to cure my poison on my Superior and Slowbro. And Moonblast wasn't going to do much anyway. Here he pulls a really, really nice double into Shaman as I go into the Slowbro, expecting that. However, though, this time I am going to be more aggressive, as I'm going to go straight into Charizard. I can basically live the HP Rock, knowing this thing is a little more defensive, as he sets up a substitute. And he has leftovers anyway, so yeah. I am going to Mega Evolve now, and I'm just going to fire off a Flamethrower because nothing on his team wants to take it. I'm sure this thing is going to fire off a Toxic. If it's got Toxic and Sub, he definitely doesn't have HP Rock. He's going to have like Toxic, Sub, Synthesis, Seed Flare, or maybe not even have Synthesis. It could be like Seed Flare, Toxic, Sub, and Earth Power for Zeraora. I don't know. But here he is going to switch into my Mortar as I just fire off a Flamethrower. This is definitely an AV my Mortar with a little bit of special defense at least. That's fine though. I'm going to switch out because I expect like a rock move or something like Thunderbolt, but he actually goes for Iron Down. I was like, whoa, he missed it though, but it was probably expecting the Florges, but yet again, Florges doesn't do much to Mag to begin with, so I wasn't going to switch it in. Here I predict him to switch, I go for a knockoff, and I do knock off the Choice Scarf on a Rotom, and that's huge because if this thing had Trick, it could have been a problem, but now I don't have to worry about it, and Charizard can still revenge it. He goes for Hydro Pump, he misses probably his 5th attack in the game already, but I mean, most of them don't matter, but it's still just really unfortunate to see. He's going to go back into Noivern, I predict that, and go for the Leech Seed just to get some more chip on this Noivern and get my Superior all the way up to 100. Basically, as I mentioned in the team builder, Mega Charizard is going to try to whittle down that Magmortar, and once that thing is whittled down, and then Charizard can come in and just kind of clean up. I just got to be careful with this Noivern, but with Florges around, Noivern's not really a problem. He goes back into Mag. This time I go into Donphan, as he goes for the Iron Tail. It only does 14%. Does get a defense, minus defense, that kind of sucks, but it's not that big of a deal. He goes in the Rotom. I expected him to like over-predict and stay in as I went for the Earthquake, but he didn't, so, smart move on his part. Here I'm going to go into Florges, and he makes a smart move as well. He goes for Volt Switch on it, so they're kind of pivoting around, scouting each other's sets right now as he goes into Shaman. As this time, I'm going to just fire off a Moonblast because I don't want this thing getting up behind a Sub. I don't want my Charizard again whittled down by Toxic because I do not have Roost on the set. As Moonblast is going to break the Sub, which is really nice. I'm just going to keep firing off Moonblasts as he's going to have to talk to me at some point. But he goes into Weezing, and that's fine because it's going to do a little bit of nice chip damage. And this time, and he gets a special attack drop. I thought about staying in for a while and just kind of like stalling this thing out, but I decided not to, as I'm going to just make the aggressive switch again into Charizard, as I don't expect him to go for the Sludge Bomb, but he does go for the Toxic Spikes, and I'm just like, oh no, that sucks, but it could have been worse. Here I can fire off a Flamethrower, and if that Magmortar comes in, which it does, he will be in Earthquake range, because Earthquake on my calc is doing about like 55-ish% to like 70. So I'm really feeling confident now. I fire off the Earthquake, and it lives. This Magmortar lived, and it went for Rock Tomb. It's a physical Magmortar, and it killed my Charizard. And guys, that turn was huge. I was so pissed off that thing didn't kill. I'm sitting on my computer. I'm like, what the hell? How'd that not kill? So we lose a big offensive key part to this game, as Magmortar just lives on 5. Very luckily, I do bring in the Serperior, and he does decide to sack off the Magmortar, as instead of keeping it as a sack, because he easily could have just switched into Noivern or whatever. So I'm glad that happened. I sent in Slowbro. I am going to get poisoned, but it's not toxic poison, so it's fine. And basically, I don't really mind the poison outside of Donphan, because Donphan doesn't have reliable recovery, but Serperior can Leech Seed, sub it up. I don't really mind if I'm gaining and losing the same amount of health. And Floor just has Aromatherapy, so I can still have that anyway. Here, unfortunately, I am going to go into Donphan though and get poisoned, as he is going to just fire off a U-turn, and that really sucks, because now he can just go into like the Rotom, which he does, and I can't really touch this thing because I do not have Seed Bomb on it, and it's already knocked off. I have to switch, and he's got a lot of momentum on his side right now. And he's going to just fire off a Hydro Pump. It does 22%. I'm glad I switched out instead of trying to predict that. But unfortunately, I am forced to Synthesis up this turn, as I am getting pretty low. And Florges is still pretty good against this team. It's just his Weezing is kind of a problem now that Charizard is gone. Because my only way of dealing with this thing is either whittling it down, which is going to be tough with Black Sludge, or having Slowbro Psychic it. So that's the only way I'm getting past his Weezing at this point. That's my dog. As he is just going to fire off a Sludge Bomb. I am AV, so I tanked that really, really nicely. Here I'm realizing I'm forced to sack something if I want to get a clean switch in on this Weezing. I do go for Rapid Spin, so he's going to go for Sludge Bomb. He does get a crit, which kind of sucks, but I'm going to go down this turn, and I realize since I'm actually faster, Rapid Spinning is pointless. He's going to have this Toxic Spike up, so I'm just going to knock off and get rid of this Black Sludge, get rid of that recovery that Weezing has, as he is going to able to get a Spike up, as I am going to die. So it's 5-4, and we are not looking good considering Charizard is gone, and the only thing on his team gone is Magmortar, as Magmortar wasn't really a problem once it was down to 5%. He goes into Rotom here. I go for Psychic because it's kind of a no drawback play. He does get a Spadef drop, which is unfortunate, so he can't really go for like Thunderbolt as much. He is going to go for Volt Switch. I am going to slack off just to see how much damage this thing is going to do, as it does do a decent chunk of damage. He's a pretty offensive Rotom. But let's see. Okay, so here I'm going to I'm going to switch in the Florges, because Florges can take a hit. I think he's going to go for the Thunderbolt. I should be able to take 2 of them, as you see here, it does 26%. I'm like, alright, and I take toxic damage, so I'm just going to survive and be able to Synthesis up. However, he crits me, and Florges dies. So we're in a really bad position right now, because everything just dies. At this point, I have to go into Zeraora and just try and break something on his team, as I am going to set up a Bulk Up. Luckily, he does stay in, and he does go for the U-turn. Doesn't do too much. The Poison's going to hurt a little bit and chip me down pretty quickly. But since I'm at +1 and the terrain is actually up for one more turn, I can fire off my Electrium Z, and the Shaman should be dead because it does like 80 to 100. So that's pretty good. That's to a max HP variant, and of course he lives. So this thing has a lot of defense in it, and he shows Psychic, which I thought was kind of weird. So he's got Toxic Sub and Psychic. That means he doesn't either have Synthesis or Seed Flare. He's going to go into Rotom. I click Close Combat, but if I click Plasma Fist, I would have died anyway. So he does sack the Rotom. I am able to break through something. Luckily, I do know that Shaman probably doesn't have Synthesis now. If its only attack is Psychic, I thought that'd be pretty weird. Unfortunately, here he goes into Noivern, and he's Scarfed. And that's a big problem on my part, because I should have noticed that earlier, because he never U-turned on the Florges when he used Hurricane. But that's my own fault for not noticing. Here I go for Psychic, and remember I told you guys earlier that the 26% mattered, because now I get a crit on 21%. It didn't matter because he was under 26, so Shaman's dead, which is pretty nice, but this type of Coco can just either click U-turn on Serp or Thunderbolt on Slowbro, and I kind of just win at that point, so we're in a really, really bad spot. He does go for Thunderbolt, luckily. He doesn't go for the U-turn. Here I can just go for a Leech Seed, because I know he's not going to want to stay in. He's going to click U-turn, obviously, and Leech Seed chip on Weezing and Noivern is nice. However, this game is kind of almost out of hand at this point. I have to just make sure Tapu Koko is not in when Serperior dies, basically, because I have the sack Serperior. I can't just keep switching in and out. I'm going to lose that battle. He goes for a U-turn, very fortunately, because he goes into Wheezing, and I just don't die yet, as I am going to fire off a Leaf Storm. Not that it really matters, but chip damage is chip, and at least I can fire off a Leech this turn, and when Slowbro comes in, I can get reliable recovery, almost force a switch at that point, as he is just going to fire off the Sludge Bomb and knock off Superior. But in the team builder, guys, I mentioned I did have Calm Mind on this set, so the game's not completely over, but literally Tapu Koko just kind of comes in. He goes for Destiny Bond here, though, and I click Calm Mind. And the good thing is that I am not actually toxic poisoned. I'm just a regular poison, so the damage is not going to rack up. So that's actually really going to help me in my favor. This time he goes into Noivern, and I'm just going to keep upsetting Calm Minds because that Tapu Koko earlier, when it took the Psychic, was actually AV. So I know it's not like a Z move Tapu Koko. He's going to fire off a U-turn, as I actually have the Rocky Helmet. He does take some more chip. I had to slack off here. And basically, I'm at +2/+2, and now since I'm at +2/+2, Tapu Koko's Thunderbolt's doing less than half. So basically, I have to stall out this terrain, and then I can just start setting up again. He does have Nature's Madness, though, and unfortunately, that really sucks, because I did click Calm Mind here. We're at +3/+3, but I'm at 32%. He's in the terrain. He's going to click Thunderbolt, and we live on 4%, and I just click Slack off here, and I'm just in my room like, no way we're going to win this game. Obviously, all he has to do is crit me, so, guys, we're going to sit here for a bit, because I have to set up to like +4 or 5 in order to kill this Tapu Koko in one hit. And basically, if he gets a crit, if he is in terrain, he does 61 to 73%. And basically, I'm never going to get up higher than that because he's got Nature's Madness. But now the terrain is gone, he does 41 to 49. So basically, I have to get up a little bit higher and just start Calm Minding. But again, any crit is going to do it at this point. So I am sweating like crazy at this moment, just hoping he doesn't crit me. I had to set up one more, as I do right there. I'm at 23%, and this Tapu Koko is using Thunderbolt, and it just doesn't die. And we're going to use Slack Off one more time. We're going to try and get up as much as health as possible. I believe one of these next few turns after I click Slack Off, I'm going to go for Psychic, expecting it to kill, because this thing is definitely like max HP, Tapu Koko. I don't know if he's got like any other investment, because he's definitely got the AV, but he still did nothing, considering. But anyway, I am going to fire off a Psychic here, and it lives the hit. So he definitely has decent amount of bulk in him. And with the damage he was actually doing a little bit earlier, I kind of proved that this Tapu Koko actually doesn't have much special attack. But he still hasn't crit me yet. I am been in range for a crit Thunderbolt for so long now, and he just hasn't gotten one. He's going for Nature's Madness now. I'm just going to keep slacking off. I have enough slack offs to get through this, because if I can get past this Tapu Koko at this point, I kind of just win the game. Because I don't think that Noivern's going to have anything for me. Again, unless that Noivern crits me. A Wheezing crit wouldn't even matter at this point, because Sludge Bomb isn't doing much. As I think one of these next turns, I click Psychic and just knock out this Tapu Koko. I think it's this turn, actually. Yeah, we click Psychic, and Tapu Koko is down, and now we're looking actually really nice for the battle. He's probably going to send in Noivern if he wants to try and go for the crit, but he might go into Wheezing here, and he does have Destiny Bond. And he goes for Sludge Bomb crit here, and he didn't get it. It only does 7%. I slack off here just to make sure I can get out of range of that. I'm going to click Slack Off one more time after this turn too. I'm talking a lot, guys. It's just a really rapid ending here, as he does go for the Destiny Bond. And I actually didn't know how Destiny Bond worked if you were faster. So even though I realize it wears off once he attacks, but I actually clicked Calm Mind here only because I wasn't sure yet. I just wanted to see it disappear, which it did. So now I'm just going to keep spamming Slack Off and Calm Mind until he clicks Destiny Bond. Luckily he clicks it here, so I Slack Off, and now the next turn I'm going to click Psychic, as something is going to die at this point. And Wheezing just fires off a Sludge Bomb, and it does 6%. Psychic comes out, and Wheezing is gone. And guys, this was somehow an amazing game, because Noivern's got to get like the ultra crit here in order to knock out Slowbro. He goes for the Draco, he drops the Draco, it does 10%. We're going to fire up a Psychic, and guys, this is the first ever time I am going to a finals game. So GG to Jed Swarley. That game was intense. I think Jed played really well, pivoting around with U-turn and Volt Switch on his team. He did a really good job at that. Losing Charizard really early really sucked, but Slowbro somehow brought it back in the end with Calm Mind. I actually almost didn't put Calm Mind on the set because I had S-Toss for like Porygon 2. But I'm glad I put Calm Mind on there. And somehow, guys, we are going to win this game 1-0, and we are going to move on to the finals. I am going to spoil who we are facing. We are facing Austrian George, coach of the Dynamo Dresden. And he is a really good battler. We are at a major disadvantage because he has a really good team and he's just been taking the league by storm. He's 11-1, so that's just saying a lot right there. But regardless, we have made the finals. It's my first ever finals appearance. I'm very excited. I'm very happy about it. And regardless of what happens, I'm gonna be pretty happy about it. So that's all I got. Make sure to go check out tomorrow's video against Aquarius in the PEBA. We are both 2-0 in that league, so that's pretty cool. That's all I got for you guys. If you guys like the video, please leave a like, I really appreciate it. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. That's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.